So I have a little secret that I want to let you in on. You actually don't need to floss your teeth. I know every dentist, every hygienist you've ever visited has told you differently, but they're half right. You do need to get something in between the teeth. That's how you keep your teeth healthy. That's how you keep your gums healthy. And we know that when you keep your gums healthy, it helps to keep you healthy. So we're going to dig into floss, the kinds of floss, how to use it if you really do want to floss. But if you don't really want to floss, what are alternatives to this? How can you still keep your teeth and gums and you healthy without actually using any kind of floss whatsoever? So let's get into all of the details here. First of all, let's talk about floss. What kind of floss should you choose? You know, a lot of times people are choosing floss based on the flavor of the floss, based on how easily it slides between the teeth, based on how it looks, how it feels in their hands. You know, there's a lot of personal preference, but I'm going to give you some guidelines and things to look for. I actually now have bamboo charcoal floss, and the reason I do is because this floss absorbs toxins. That's what charcoal's amazing at, is actually pulling toxins. That's why they give it to you in the hospital if you've ingested some sort of poison. It actually absorbs all of those poisons or toxins and gets rid of them. So with bamboo charcoal floss, it's cleaning some of the things that have lodged between your teeth. That's a great reason to use it. We also have a natural wax on this floss because some of those waxes are left behind. And what we don't want is for you to get these waxes and other particles that are going to turn into a toxin in your system that your body has to figure out how to get rid of. That makes no sense. There are some kinds of floss that are made of a material called Teflon. Glide floss is one of those. Well, if you've heard anything about the concern with Teflon cookware, the same concerns show up for Teflon floss. Some of those particles are lodged in your cells and they never leave. They create this ongoing irritation, can lead to inflammation, can lead to other issues. So I know that people choose glide floss because their teeth are really difficult to get between. Sometimes it's a dental problem. Sometimes you have a crown or a filling or something that's rough and catches floss. If that's the case, go visit the dentist. Get the dental problem corrected. Regular floss that's well waxed should be able to get between teeth if they have been restored properly at the dentist. So let's talk about how you use that floss if you're going to use just the old school method of flossing your teeth. You're going to get about this much length of floss, it's a couple feet. Wrap it around your index fingers, both sides. Typically, I like to keep it close, so I don't go clear all the way down to this end, and I'm going to show you why. We keep it close. We're going to use this floss, and you're going to use it to make a C around your tooth. So it's going to go between the teeth, and then instead of straight up, because that's going to damage the gum, you're going to make a C around the tooth behind the space, the tooth on the other side of the space. So up, make a C, up and down, make a C, up and down. It's hard to talk and floss at the same time. So you're going to be cleaning a C on each sides of the space. If you are just jamming it into your gum, you're going to create what we call floss cuts. And we see these. We see them a lot up here on the top teeth. So when you're doing this, make sure you're very conscientious. Gently put it in, make a C, gently turn it, and make a C. And then you're going to be able to clean off everything that's in between those teeth. Now, the reason I did this up close is because I want to use this part and then I actually want to move down my floss and get a new part, especially if it's shredded at all, anything like that. Then I move down and use a new part, and now I can move down to the end and use a third new part. So a lot of times I can get 3 sections of good, new, clean floss out of this. That's if you're just going to use it, like I said, the old school flossing method. Now, do you have to use this way? No. There are so many different ways that you can clean between your teeth. Let's start, first of all, with the floss-related versions of this. The second thing you can use is a floss holder. You've probably seen these. They're called floss picks. Again, the concern with these is they go straight up, and they're a little difficult to use as a C. So what are you going to do? You put them between your teeth, and then gently pull the sides of the pick back with your fingers. Did you see how I did that? Put it in. Pull the sides of the pick back to make the C. Otherwise, you're just jam, and you're going to actually injure and damage the gum. Now, why does it matter? An injured or damaged gum will move down. The gum and the bone together will move away from the tooth. And now you're going to start to have gum recession. You're going to have those black triangles between your teeth where there's no gum in there anymore that you may not love the look of, those kinds of things. There's also oftentimes a toothpicky end on the end. Again, be careful with toothpicks. You can damage gums. You're going to go slide down the side of the tooth and under the gum. You're not going to just poke it in, because if you're poking it in between every tooth, there's a little triangle of gum that looks like this. So if you just jam that pick right into that triangle, you're going to flatten that triangle off, and it's not going to look as good because you don't have that nice pink in between each tooth. With this, you're going to slide down the tooth and go under the gum. You're not going to jam it in. This is the key for picks. There are also little brushes that you can use between the teeth, like this. Same rule goes here. You're not going to just jam it in to that space between the teeth. You're not going to just jam it in here. You're going to kill the triangle if you do that. You're going to slide it down the tooth and under the gum. Slide it down the tooth and under the gum. You just want to gently slide on either side. So lots of different indications. These are fabulous if you already have gum recession, if you already have some bone loss, because these are going to clean in between the teeth a little bit better. I prefer these soft little flexible brushes to a toothpick. A toothpick is pretty rigid and you can damage the gums with using that. So this is gentle and it's going to get down in between those teeth. Now, what if you have a spot that has a bridge, that has a retainer, an old retainer from braces, those kinds of things? What are you going to use for that? There's floss that's made with a stiff end. The stiff end can get underneath the bridge, and then you take the floss, act like a C on either side on the teeth that are holding the bridge. Same thing with the retainer. You can thread it under the retainer, and then you can clean between there. So there's kinds that are pre-made like this with a stiff end. You can also get something called a floss threader that looks a lot like the old thing that my grandma would use to thread her needles. It has a little loop and a stiff end. You put your floss through it, it threads it through. The advantage of a floss threader is that you only need the floss threader and you just reuse floss rather than having to get a preloaded or pre-stiffened piece of floss like this. So you use regular floss with this floss threader. So that's how you use floss in many different ways. There's also big floss holders that look like a slingshot that are reusable. These floss picks are nice, but you have to keep buying them. So there's reusable floss threaders that look like a slingshot that you thread with just regular floss again. Remember to use it like a C so that you're careful and protective of those gums. Now the last things that you can use are, this looks like a little rubber Christmas tree. This can be used in between the teeth the same way. Again, slide down the tooth gently. This one can also be used along the front of the tooth here, if this is a place that collects plaque. And this is called a sulca brush. It's a brush that is used in the place of floss or in between the teeth. This is often used if there's a large space. You've already had bone loss, gum loss, you have a tooth restoration, a crown, a filling, something like that, and it's difficult to clean. This gives you a little more structure for getting in between those areas. The last one, and the one that my husband actually prefers and I like too, is called a water flosser. The reason I love this for so many people, especially teenagers and people who have a lot of hard things to clean in their mouth, crowns, implants, that kind of thing, is it is a water pick, and water picks are great for cleaning in between the teeth. You can use different versions of water picks. Most water picks are on the countertop, so you have to fill up the water, the basin with whatever you want. And sometimes dentists will recommend this if you have gum disease, because we can add medicines to that basin of water, and then all of that is sprayed under the gum, around the tooth, and cleans and medicates at the same time. So those are great. But the problem with the water flossers, just the regular ones that are on your countertop, they even have ones that have a big reservoir that you put the water in the handle. The problem with the handle one is that they run out, and so you often have to refill them. The ones that have the basin is that it's just a bit of pain, right? You have to fill it up. It makes a mess. It gets water all over your counter, but it may be part of your routine. If you love them, keep using them. They actually work great. I still recommend that you use floss right where your teeth touch though, because water can't get in there. Just that place you heard that little snap, water can't get in there. It can get around the gum, it can get around all those other places, and it's great for that, but it can't get right between the teeth. So you still need to put some floss right between the teeth, right where they touch, if they don't have a filling or crown. If you have fillings or crowns, You can get a cavity underneath it, but typically a water flosser is gonna get to the nooks and crannies around that. So there are a couple of kinds of water flossers. Like I said, the ones that are on the countertop, you can have a handheld one, you can have a basin one, or there's one that goes in the shower. And this is the one that my husband loves best. So the one that goes in the shower hooks in between the wall and your shower, and you divert a little bit of water out of it. It goes down a tube, it goes into your mouth, so you're now using warm water, you're already in the shower, you're already wet, there's no mess to be made. You use it, clean all the teeth, and then re-divert the water back, and you're back to your just regular shower. This one has worked great for my husband, actually. We didn't demo it because I can't really be in the shower on this video, but it has worked so well. He used to have a lot of gum disease issues, a lot of cavities. And when he married me, he didn't have a choice but to turn things around. And this has been one of the key things for his gum health. He does a combination of two things. He hates just regular flossing. So he uses the water flosser every day when he showers, and then he follows it with a floss holder just to get in between where his teeth are touching. Once a day, that's all it needs to happen. Water flossing even could be every couple of days whenever you shower. So water flossing every couple of days if you choose to do that. Flossing once a day, that's enough. We've talked about a lot with floss today. Let's go back and summarize everything. The key is you have to get between the teeth with something. I don't care what you use. It's going to be your preference on the thing that works best for you, but something needs to get between the teeth. The floss that you use should not add toxins or add issues. You should choose something that's clean, that's going to work well and get between your teeth. If it gets stuck, it's probably a dentistry problem rather than a floss problem. So go to the dentist and see if you can get that corrected. You can use all kinds of different ways to use that floss. You can just use your fingers. You can use a floss holder. You can use a floss pick. You can use floss that has a stiff end on it if it needs to get under a bridge or under a retainer. So many different ways to use floss. But you don't have to use floss. You can actually also use little Christmas tree rubber points. You can use sulca brushes. You can use what are called proxy brushes, little proxy brushes, and you can even use toothpicks. Anything that gets between a tooth helps with this. Be sure to be careful with the gum. Slide down the tooth next to the gum and back out, not straight in unless you want to damage those little pink triangles that help your smile to look great. And keep your teeth clean and healthy as well. All of these things are useful and helpful to keep your gums healthy, your teeth healthy, and you healthy. And that's what we want. If you want to see all of this in a very concise format, please request our tooth care guide that's going to go through toothbrushes, the products we should put on the toothbrushes, and also all of these flossing options all in one place, because I just want to help you stay well.